Continue our NFC North mock draft series with the Green Bay Packers, who are currently picking the second highest in this division right now, but are still picking 27th overall. The NFC North makes up 3 of the final 6 picks in the NFL draft right now. That's how freaking dominant this division has been. Green Bay is right now 3rd in the division with a 10-4 record. That's ridiculous. You look at otherwise, Minnesota's 12-2, Detroit is 12-2 as well. It's the best division in football right now. And the fact that we're talking about Green Bay in our second video, the NFC North, and they're picking 27th overall, that's higher than most divisions' best team, honestly. So it's ridiculous that we're talking about the Packers as a second team and they're at number 27.
No, absolutely. It's a loaded division. I'll tell you what, it's going to take some really good drafts to keep up in that race. And we could very well see 2 of the 3 teams in the NFC title game if things shake right. So, 3 teams having a great year and the Packers having a spectacular. I think they've only lost to Detroit and Philly and Minnesota. So it just shows you what they've been doing to everybody else and how good they've been all year.
Yeah, it's been crazy how good Green Bay has been. To remind you guys what we're doing here, we're doing a full 3-round mock draft using PFF's Mock Draft Simulator. We can find at PFF.com. You control one team, a few teams, or all 32 NFL teams if you want to do it as well using the Mock Draft Simulator. We're only doing 3 rounds on this show, but if you want to do a full 7 rounds, if you only do 1 round, you can do as many as you want using the PFF Mock Draft Simulator at PFF.com, where you can trade picks and trade players as well. Be fully immersed as the GM of your favorite team, available at PFF.com. All right, Green Bay here, again, at number 27 overall in this draft. Let's see kind of how the board falls to us here, Dalton, honestly. So Green Bay, there's some needs, I think, on this team. Or not really needs because they're a really good team overall. But, corner, D-tackle, edge defenders are kind of some of the spots that some Green Bay Packers fans have been taking right now. I'm kind of looking at the board and seeing who stands out to me.
Even TJ Sanders wouldn't be a terrible fit here. I think Trey Amos right at the top of the corner board of the list there, that might help them. I think that's where you look at. You still kind of filling holes on defense. I think eventually we start talking about interior offensive line also, but I think defense, we keep rounding out Jeff Hafley's unit here. I think Trey Amos might be a solid pick there, a guy who's really emerged for Ole Miss this year. And I think we've had so many guys emerge for Ole Miss this year, haven't we? But I think finding somebody that's really a mainstay across from Jair Alexander at that other corner spot. I know we've got Carrington Valentine's playing okay. Keyshawn Nixon's been okay. But I don't know if these are all guys you think about as CB2 that teams aren't going to attack when they're just trying to stay away from Alexander. We've seen this be a problem for a long time.
How do you think Jahdae Barron, a heavy zone corner, fits in Jeff Hafley's defense?
It's an aggressive defense. He doesn't go cover one quite as much as he did at Boston College because he did it more than anybody at Boston.
That's what I was thinking.
You can't run that much man coverage in the NFL. He still goes a high amount of man coverage. I don't know if he'd be the first guy I'd pick in this scheme.
So then maybe like a Shavon Ravel then.
Ravel would make sense. Yeah. I think Amos would make some sense as well. It depends. I mean, it's not always just only scheme dependence, right? So I think they're all talented guys for sure. Even a Darian Porter. I mean, I don't think he would be out of place for this team, right? So I think among this group, you could take any of them, and Hafley would find a way for them to fit in. But with a lot of single high, I think Amos would make sense, and Ravel would make sense too. Yeah.
All right. I kind of like the cornerback route here. So let's go with. I think between Amos and Ravel, I kind of like Ravel a little bit more, I think, right now.
I got to do the deep dive on Amos. I know he's a guy Trevor absolutely loves. Yeah. Trevor loves Trey Amos. He thinks he's really a legitimate first-round prospect. So I could see it either way. I think Amos is a versatile guy, too, and he's also not coming off the injury. So I might argue it that way because I don't think Hafley, again, a lot of man coverage, but not quite at the level of what he did at Boston College when it was every single play was in your grill like that. I think I would lean in on Amos and see where it goes.
All right, let's go Trey Amos then at number 27 overall to the Green Bay Packers. Let's continue this with the next pick for the Packers at number 59 overall. Are there any D tackles or edges here on the board?
I think.
Alfred Collins?
There he is.
Yeah.
There he is.
I was kind of eyeing him, too.
Yeah, I'm kind of in on that. Tyler Booker's an option, too. I don't hate a Tyler Booker idea if we're going interior offensive line, unless we want to wait the third round. But
most drafted by the Packers too. See that at 15%. They know ball.
They know. They've been watching our other shows. Right? they know. They must have watched our Texas Clemson preview. Me ranting about Alfred Collins. This is a really good football.
Look at how much he's moving up the mock draft simulator as well. He's getting picked a lot higher.
He's a terrific football player, and I'll tell you something I really like about him. I mentioned this to you before. He's got over 200 snaps in the B-gaps this year. He's got over 100 snaps over the tackle, and he's got over 100 snaps over the center. You could put him absolutely anywhere, and you know for a fact what he's going to do. He's going to stop the run. This is one of the best run defenders in this entire draft. He's versatile. He's strong as hell. He kind of played third fiddle for a year behind Tavondre Sweat and Byron Murphy, and now he's in a starring role. This is a guy through this college football playoff, too, people are going to see on a national stage how darn good he is. I do not hate Alfred Collins at all with this pick.
The fact that he was playing a rotational role last year because they had Byron Murphy and Tavondre Sweat, and now he's really emerging as a superstar in college football. I love this pick as well.
He's so versatile. If you want him as a 3 technique, cool. You want him over the center, cool. Any which way you want to use your front, he's a guy who can just morph into that role.
Absolutely.
I love it. I love that pick.
All right, final pick here at number 91 overall for the Green Bay Packers. I was kind of thinking offensive tackle if there was one here. I just don't think there would be one that's worth.
Interior would, I think,
Armaj Reed Adams.
Reed Adams is an option because Rasheed Walker on the left side is a good pass blocker. Not a great run blocker, but he's a pretty good pass blocker, and Zach Tom's not going anywhere. You're not touching him. So I think interior makes some sense.
Josh Connerly this low. I think he's going top 50 in the NFL draft.
We'll have those debates. But I don't think the Packers are going to be, unless they get a first-round talent or they feel like there's someone they have to trade up for, I think you could still see another year of Rasheed Walker.
Okay.
He's at least a good pass
I don't know if I would pass on Connerly here, but also I don't know how realistic he is.
Yeah, I think, let's see. There's some thoughts here because I think you could go with another running back behind Josh Jacobs, get a little depth going there. I think a space player like an R.J. Harvey might make some sense, or even Devin Neal's really good out in space. I think running back's an option. I didn't hate the idea of Josiah Stewart, who I saw floating on the board there either. That's if you wanted to go with more beef on the defensive line. You have Rashawn Gary out of Michigan on one side and Josiah Stewart out of Michigan on the other. I don't hate that either if you wanted to keep going there. I just think it's a very tough year to need interior offensive line help. It's tough, especially with Parker Brailsford going back to school at center for Alabama. It's a tough spot to be looking here, especially with this spot. Reed Adams is an option for sure. The other problem is you've got Jordan Morgan, who they've been using at guard, but it wasn't great when he was in, and now he's out for the season with an injury. What are we doing with Jordan Morgan, or is he an option at left tackle if we're not satisfied with Rasheed Walker? It's really tough with the Packers offensive line right now to tell what their intentions are.
Yeah, I was looking at it. Josh Myers just has not really played well at all this year.
Yeah. It would be an easy spot for me to put Parker Brailsford if he came out of the draft and he was available.
I don't know. I mean, do we take Connerly? I just don't know if Connerly is actually going to be here at 91 is the thing. And I don't know if we want to put him here at 91.
I don't know. It's hard to project the offensive line. If there was a big-time center here, I'm with you. I would be in on that. Because I don't know what we're doing with Jordan Morgan. I don't know what we're doing with Rasheed Walker. And there's even in the past been rumors about moving Zach Tom into center or something like that, but I don't think that's happened. He's too good at right tackle. You can't move him.
What about Jake Slaughter?
What about Jake Slaughter?
I thought he was the best center in college football this year. Now, he's very low on the big board. I know Trevor, not a huge fan of Jake Slaughter. I don't know if he's on the...
We got to get him on there.
Oh, he's not even on here.
It's going to be a guy.
Okay, so never mind. That's the guy I would think about. Because I think I'm going to be very high on Jake Slaughter.
I could look at guards, too.
We'll get him on that. That's one guy we'll add out to the board very soon.
Figure that out. Jake Slaughter from Florida. That's the guy we got to figure out.
The center from Florida. I thought he was the best center in college.
Unless we go to like Jaden Roberts, a guard, and we get a big old guard in front of Josh Jacobs there like that, too. Because I would go interior O-line, or maybe Josiah Stewart, or maybe a running back.
All right, let's go interior O-line. I think they need to attack the interior O-line.
Maybe Jaden Roberts add some big size in there. Because I'll tell you what, Matt LaFleur is known as a Shanahan kind of zone scheme guy, but I've seen this year more than ever him adjusting these run schemes. If he needs to get into some pulling guards or some power schemes or some duo schemes, he's been able to do it. I think at the very least, Jaden Roberts is an option. And if he's willing to adjust the run schemes, because he's not the best laterally, but he's so darn big. What's the old story that Trevor keeps telling us? He's clearly the strongest guy at Alabama.
Yeah.
That's a tough place to just unanimously be the strongest guy at. I could go with Jaden Roberts just to give, especially at guard, get this interior really solidified in front of Jordan Love.
All right, let's do it. Let's go with Jaden Roberts to round out this three-round mock draft for the Green Bay Packers. All right, so just to recap, we did Trey Amos in the first round. We did Alfred Collins in the second round, Jaden Roberts in the third round for the Packers. We're doing this for every single division, every single team in the NFL. Continuing with the NFC North very soon with the Vikings and the Lions. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel so you don't miss a single one of those episodes. For Dalton Wasserman, I'm Max Chadwick. We'll see you guys very soon with our next NFC North mock draft.
Thanks for watching, everybody. Make sure you like and subscribe the video. And if you don't have a PFF Plus subscription, you can get one to see all the premium stats that we talked about here on the show, plus the expert betting and fantasy advice over at subscribe.pff.com. The description is also right below, so if you are not a PFF Plus subscriber, you can become one today.